Hello, good day. You're welcome. My name is Chama Odikulu. You're welcome from wherever you're joining us. You're welcome to our class today. So today we'll be discussing what to do when you feel like giving up as a parent. What can you do when you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving up? How can you raise yourself and your children with grit in a world that drains you? Yes, in our day, in our time, there are so many things that drains parents. So how can we stay? What can we do when we have this feeling like, oh my God, I am tired? What are the things we can start to do? Now, this session is about perseverance. It's for every father out there. It's for every mother out there who has ever felt like quitting, like you're tired, like you have a lot of responsibilities parenting. You have to parent your children, you have to teach and continuously teach till they get it. That is what this session is about. It's about teaching us how we can continue, how we can keep on going even when everything doesn't look like it. It's about we understanding that as parents we can build stamina, we can build our grit, we can continue to grow, we can continue to model grit, and we can continue to pass on grit, resilience, perseverance to ourselves and to our children. And it's about learning how we as parents can parent ourselves again, because the truth is that most of us, all of us, in fact every parent, have to reparent themselves again. So it's about learning how we can reparent ourselves with grit, how we can also parent our children with grit. So as a father, as a mother, or as a parent, have you ever felt like, oh my God, I am tired. Oh my God, parenting is draining me. Oh my God, I have a lot of things to do. I have a lot of responsibility. I have to take care of my work. I have to take care of the family, my marriage, everything. I have to hold everyone together. Have you ever felt that way? The truth is that you are not alone, but we are here to learn how can we build ourselves, how can we grow ourselves, how can we develop ourselves so that we get to this point where we don't feel this way. Or even if you find yourself feeling like you're tired, you have the tools, you know what to do to come out of that state. So that is why we're here. So as parents, we're going to learn what we can begin to do. So we must always remember that most people think the opposite of success is failure. It's not. The opposite of success is quitting. The opposite of success is quitting. That is the opposite of success. And we must always remember that most times parenting is one of the most emotionally draining roles. Yes, most times parenting drains us, especially when you have a lot of things to do. You have financial pressure, you have job stress, you need to take care of work, you need to take care of marriage, your health, your children. Sometimes as parents, you can agree with me that most parents feel drained. Many parents suffer from silent burnout. A good number of parents suffer from silent burnout. They are functioning on the outside. You can see them. They are doing well. They are doing great. But from the inside, they are struggling. They are really burnt out from the inside. Also, social media is not helping us. Social media and comparison have made many parents feel like they are not doing enough. You scroll through social media. You see yourself and you start to compare yourself. You compare yourself with someone you went to school with. You compare yourself with your neighbor while you were growing up, and you start to tell yourself you are not enough. You start to tell yourself like you've not arrived. Social media is not also helping, and this causes a lot of pressure or a lot of burnout, or it drains a lot of parents. Now we are parenting in a world that constantly demands more. Our world constantly demands more. Our world demands more time. You need more time for your family. You need more time for your wife. You need more time for your husband. You need more time for your children. You also need more time for yourself. So we are parenting in a world that needs more time. We are parenting in a world that needs more patience. You need to be patient as a parent. You need to be emotionally regulated. You need to be emotionally stable as a parent. While raising our children, we are parenting in a world that needs more results. Yet, A lot of parents put in little effort to get this result. So we are here to learn. What can we begin to do when you feel drained, when you feel burnt out, when you feel like, oh my God, I have a whole lot of things on my head? What can you begin to do? So now let us learn. What is grit? Why is grit even important in this conversation? Why do we have to talk about grit? We have to talk about grit. Now, grit is passion and perseverance for long-term goals. So grit is the ability for we as parents to persevere, to give in our passion to that long-term goal. That goal you said you want to raise your children. You're looking at your children and you're saying in 18 years, when they are adults, when they are 30 years, who do you want to see? Your goals, you set out your goals of what you want to see, but you persevere and you commit to that goal. Even when you're teaching your child, they are not getting it, but you still persevere. Even when you're talking to your child and your child is throwing tantrum, but you still persevere and commit to that long-term goal. Now, grit is stamina. Grit is the ability for we as parents to have stamina. So do you as a parent have stamina? Do I have stamina to face and to take care of every responsibility and everything we need to do? Do our children have stamina? Are we raising our children with stamina? Now, grit is sticking with your future goals day in and day out, not just for the week. Not just saying today I want to achieve this goal, but somebody criticized me and I'm not doing it again. No, grit is the ability for you to continue with your long-term goals day in and day out, even when everything does not look like it, even when you are tired as a parent, when you feel like quitting, you have a lot on your head, financial pressure, work pressure, taking care of children, health, and so many things, but you tell yourself, I am going to commit to my goal. I am going to be focused and commit to my goal. Now, grit is for years. Grit is not just for 1 week. You don't say, I am gritty just for 1 week. Grit is not just for 2 weeks. The stamina we should build as parents should not just be for weeks. It shouldn't be for months. It should be for years. So are you raising yourself? Are you reparenting yourself to have stamina? Are you reparenting your children to have stamina? That is the conversation. That is what we should do. Now, grit is not about talent or intelligence. We're not talking about talent here. We are not talking about intelligence, but grit is about staying in the game. You keep on staying in the game even when it gets hard. Even when everyone tells you this thing is not working, but you say, I am going to stay till the end and finish this thing well. So that is grit. The ability for we as parents to stay in the game till the end. The ability for we to raise our children to stay till the end. Now, parenting with grit means that you have to love consistently even when you don't feel appreciated. So even when you feel your children are not appreciated, even when you feel your children are doing something else from what you're teaching, but you still have to love and love unconditionally. That is grit. When you choose connection over control as a parent, that is grit. Even when it will be easier for you to yell, even when it will be easier for you to shout as a parent, even when it will be easier for you to lash out, when it will be easier for you to do what you're not supposed to do, but you choose connection over correction, over control. That is grit. When you commit to your growth and to the growth of your child, that is grit. And that is how you can reparent yourself or raise your children with grit. Now, we must understand as parents that you can't give what you don't have. You can't pour from an empty cup. Are you as a parent, do you have stamina? Are you committed to your long-term goals and perseverance? If you are not committed, if we are not committed, definitely we can't give what we don't have. Now, before we raise our children with grit, before we raise our children to have stamina, before we raise our children to persevere, before we raise our children with resilience, we must first of all raise ourselves as parents. So are you raising yourself with grit? Are you you raising yourself with grit? That is what we must do, because grit starts with we, the parents. Now, many of us as parents, we pour into our children. You do a lot for your child. You enroll them in classes, you get all the books for them, you ensure everything about their education is okay, it's 100%. But you as a parent, we as parents, a good number of parents neglect their emotional development. You neglect your mental development, and you neglect your spiritual development. But we have to shift our mindset. As you're developing in your child, as you're pouring a lot and more into your child, you have to also develop yourself emotionally, develop yourself mentally, develop yourself spiritually. You're not just a caregiver as a parent, you're a human becoming. You are becoming. You are that parent that is becoming. You're not just a caregiver. You should be someone that is growing. You should be someone that is becoming. You should be someone that reparent his or herself. Now, our children are watching us. They are watching how we navigate struggle. They are watching us to see how we are able to bounce back when we encounter that difficult situation. Our children are watching to see how we can speak to ourselves in dark seasons, when seasons are dark, when things are not going on well. They are watching. Let me see, are my parents resilient? What are they saying to themselves? What are the conversations they are having with themselves? Are they resilient? Are they able to stay true? That is what our children are listening to. So as a parent, are you modeling grit? Are you modeling stamina? Are you modeling perseverance? Are you modeling resilience? That is the conversation, and that is what we are called to do. So begin to ask yourself, how do you model stamina, grit in your day-to-day activity, in your day-to-day relationship, your day-to-day connection, conversations with your children? Are you growing? Are you improving? That is the conversation. But we must learn to begin to shift our mindset to build grit. So how can we build grit in this draining world? In a world where we feel drained, in a world where there are so many things there to distract us, how can we build stamina? How can we build grit? How can we build our perseverance? How can we build our resilience? Number one, shift from perfection to process. Shift from your perfection to process. Begin to focus on the process. Begin to focus on the process. Now, parents that have grit, don't try to be perfect. You don't wait till everything is perfect. You don't wait till the whole situation is perfect. You don't wait till everybody is applauding you. Everyone is clapping and saying, yes, go for it, go for it, go for it before you go. No. Parents that have grit focus on the process. They don't wait till everything is perfect. So they keep showing up. Even when things are messy, you keep showing up. Even when your child seems like he's not listening to your instruction, but you keep teaching, you keep guiding. Even when you don't feel like it, you want to reach this goal, you want to do this project, but the situations around you does not look nice. But you don't wait till everything is perfect. You keep on going for it. Now, stop trying to meet the impossible standard of a super mom. As a parent, as a father, as a mother, a good number of us are stuck with meeting the impossible standard of a super mom or the impossible standard of a super dad. So you've seen on social media a super mom, super dad, and you want to meet that standard. Now, if we must be gritty, if we must raise ourselves with stamina, with grit, we must take out this comparison of trying to be a super mom, a super dad, that standard that the society, the world has put out there. So we must take our focus from that impossible standard and begin to be us, to work on ourselves so that we begin to grow. Now, focus on your process. What got better this week? That is what you should ask yourself. So every day, ask yourself, am I better than who I was yesterday? That should be the conversation. Focus on being better. Focus on growing. Focus on being a better version of yourself. Then the other thing you can do, to build a mindset of grit in our world, in a draining world, to shift from shame to self-compassion. You can't shame yourself into strength. A good number of us feel ashamed of a whole lot of things. You love yourself into healing. You cannot shame yourself into strength. Instead of feeling shame, why don't you take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your journey and begin to look out for ways you can improve. Begin to look out for ways where you can be a better version of yourself. So from today, as a parent, begin to shift from shame to self-compassion. Begin to work on yourself. Don't stay in that hall of shame. Don't stay in that hall of shame, because the truth is that Jesus Christ has taken away our shame. He has taken away your shame. So why stay there? Why stay stuck in the hall of shame? When you do that, you're not raising yourself with stamina. Now, mistakes are not proof that you're a bad parent. That you made a mistake is not a criteria that you're a bad parent. That you made a mistake is not a proof that you're a bad parent. But when you make a mistake, you get up, you dust yourself, you sit down and ask, what happened? Why did I make this mistake? What are the things I would have done? What are the things I should have done? Moving forward, what do I need to do? And you pick your lessons and you run and continue on your journey. As parents, you must learn to parent yourself with grace. Extend grace to yourself. We as parents most times forget to extend compassion and grace to ourselves. Most times we will just feel like, oh, I made a mistake. You don't extend grace to yourself, but learn to extend grace to yourself. Learn to parent yourself with grace. The way you parent your child, even when your child make a mistake, you get up, you teach them, you tell them it's okay. Also parent yourself that way. Also reparent yourself that way. Begin to reparent. Begin to extend grace and compassion to yourself. Another thing we can do that can help us to build in grit is to shift from I can't to I am becoming. So every time you want to say I can't, rather say I am becoming. Every I can't should become I am still learning. I am still growing. I am still becoming. Speak words of life to yourself. What words are you speaking to yourself? Are you affirming yourself? And I'm writing a book, 52 Weeks Affirmation for Parents. It's a book that teaches us as parents how we can begin to affirm ourselves, how we can begin to declare positively over ourselves. Watch out for that book and get a copy of that book. So what words are you speaking to yourself? Speak words of life to yourself, especially in hard moments. When the moments are hard, when situations are difficult, when you're stuck, you are tired, you are stranded, you are frustrated. What words do you speak to yourself? Our words carry life and power. So we should train ourselves. We should train our brain to begin to speak words, even in hard moments, to speak the words of life. Affirm yourself. You can tell yourself, even if this is hard, but I am going to learn it. Even if I can't do this thing, but I will learn. Shift from control to connection. As a parent, shift from control to connection. Grit is not about controlling your children to behaving well. It's not about you controlling every aspect of your child's life, telling your child you must do what I say. No, begin to shift your focus from control to connection. Connect more than you control. It's about connecting deeply with your children, even in hard seasons, so they will know that growth is okay. So even when the seasons are hard, for example, your child is going through a different season, probably your child is going through puberty, your child is now a teenager, your child is now having tantrums, the seasons are hard, your child is trying to understand the world they are in, your child is trying to understand himself or herself. Do you know what you should do? As a parent, begin to connect more and not to control. The other thing we can do is to shift from isolation to support. You weren't meant to raise your children in isolation. You were not meant to raise champions in isolation. Grit grows best in communities. So what community are you in? What parenting community are you in? The community you're in, is it shaping you? Is it helping you? Do they share the same values with you? The people in your circle, are they speaking the same language? Do they share the same value with you? Do they help you when you fall to get up and continue your journey. So look out for courses, for coaches, communities that you can join that will be a blessing to you, because you were not meant to raise your children in isolation, but you were meant to raise them in a community of like-minded people that share the same value, a community that will help you to grow and not help you to go down. So how can we begin to pass on grades to our children? Because even the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will never depart from it. So how can you pass down grades to your child? Number one, praise the effort of your child, not just the results. For example, you worked really hard, not you're so smart. Praise the effort, not just the result. Number two, let your child fail safely. Grit grows in the soil of failure and try again moments. So grit grows in the soil of failure and try again moments. Let your child fail safely. When they fail, you teach them what to do, and don't be scared for them to fail again, provided what they are doing is age appropriate and it's safe for them. Number three, model recovery. So say to yourself, that was hard for me too, but I am still here. That was hard for me to finish this book. Oh my God, but I am still at it. I am still here, and I will keep at it till I get to the end. Also, create a family grit culture. Create a culture of grit in your home. Share your own stories of struggles and perseverance. By doing that, you will help to pass on grit, stamina, resilience, this mind to your children. Use affirmations. Speak truth over them daily. Even when things are hard, you can tell your child you can do hard things. You are becoming strong. You don't quit when it's hard. Begin to speak the positive words to your child. And that is why I said I have a book coming out, 52 Weeks Affirmation for Parents. Get this book. Get this book and begin to speak life. This book will help you to reclaim your power, to reclaim your identity. Then you begin to speak life to your children. Then finally, when you mix grit and faith, you will become unstoppable. When you mix grit and faith, you will become unstoppable. God doesn't call the strongest of parents. He strengthens the one he calls. God does not call the strongest of parents, but God strengthens the one he calls. God has called you to be a parent. God has called me to be a parent. What God will do, God will strengthen you. So are you willing? Are you making yourself available to be strengthened? Are you willing to work on yourself? Are you willing to improve on yourself? Are you willing to grow on yourself, to grow yourself? That is the conversation. So as parents, we must understand that grit starts with us. Even when you're tired, tell yourself you are not done yet. Even when you're raising your children, raise them with strength, raise your children with faith, and raise your children with grit. God is with me in every struggle, and I will rise again. That is the message. That is what we should have. That should be the mindset of stamina, the mindset of perseverance, the mindset of not quitting, the mindset of not giving up. And that is my message to myself, to you out there. You're watching this, you're catching a replay. What mindset do you want to build in yourself or in your children? What would you be doing differently? I encourage you to embrace this mindset of grit, because this mindset will help your children to be the better versions of themselves, and it will help you as a parent to be a better version of yourself. So thank you for joining me. Do well to get a copy of my upcoming book, 52 Weeks Affirmation for Parent. Also, I have a book coming out on the A to Z of emotions, because I understand the importance of emotional intelligence. This book is coming out in series. I've got the one for toddlers, for school age, preschoolers, and for parents. Watch out for this book. Get this book and begin to work on your journey. I have a book, Becoming a Renewed Parent. You can get this book. I'm going to drop the link to get this book in the comment section. Get this book and begin to work on your journey, because the truth is that growth is a journey. We don't get to a point and say we have stopped growing. We don't get to a point and say this is the end. You keep on growing every day, because growth never ends. Thank you for joining me till I come your way next time. Do have a great day, and bye.